Welcome to the Coaching Coordinator Podcast. I'm your host, Keith Grabowski, and this is our first of our Quickcast series. What is a Quickcast? You already know the Coaching Coordinator Podcast for interviews that touch the many areas of the skill set and mindset that makes a successful coach. In our Quickcast, we focus on a coach's most powerful insight on a single topic. We pull out the most useful, interesting, and helpful ideas into an episode you can consume in 15 minutes or less. It's our up-tempo version of the podcast. With a library of over 1,000 episodes, we have plenty of these nuggets to share with you to help you improve your own mindset and skill set as a coach. Enjoy. Today's Quickcast is with Jason Mangone, head coach of D-III SUNY Brockport. He was named the 2017 AFCA D-III Coach of the Year after guiding the Eagles to a 13-1 record, the best in school history, and a berth in the national semifinals. The Golden Eagles are consistently at the top of Division III offensive rankings, and today, Coach Mangone shares his insight on simplicity. Simplicity, having less is more powerful over time and allows you to coach better and your players to execute more effectively. Coach Mangone shares how selecting an offensive menu is much like managing what's in your closet.
We have 5 S's. 5 words that start with S that equate success, and one of them is simple. And, you know, as a young coordinator, when I took over in 2004, I was 26 years old. I thought I knew everything right, and I thought more was better, and we probably had 12 run schemes, had like 13 pass plays, and, you know, we went out and broke all the scoring records. And the very next year did all the same things and probably broke the scoring record in the wrong way. All right. We only scored, I think, around 19 or 20 points a game. And it made me sit back and look at it. And what I realized was in my first year, we had arguably at the time the best quarterback in program history. Mm-hmm. And he was why we scored points. It wasn't what we were doing. He just made the offense really look all right because he was so unbelievable, but named by Bob Darnley. So it made this, you know, me take a seat back, you know, look back and go, what are we doing? And really what then started happening over the years, and really more so today, is how can we eliminate something? And this is really, it's funny, the analogy I kind of use is my closet. So I have 7 pairs of jeans. I wear the same 2 pairs of jeans all the time. I don't even wear what I have. So why do I have 13 run plays when in essence I want to run 2 or 3 during the game? Mm-hmm. So, and then here's my rule too. Again, so kind of one of these weird things. But if an item goes into my closet that's new, something comes out that I don't wear. So if I'm going to put something in our offense at the beginning of the year and now in the spring, something has to come out. I want to be less than more. So we are spending our entire spring looking to eliminate things that we do rather than adding. And it's so hard to do it first. But once you see the successes of just being simple and having the kids confident because they know what they're doing, I think the dividends pay off, and then I think it becomes something that we just follow. So it's a philosophy that we live by, and you know, we'll go into games with 2 run plays for the entire game, and come out 200 plus yards rushing because we were good at what we were doing.
An enemy of simplicity is overage, having calls in the game plan that you never actually use. Coach Mangone explains the importance of maximizing your repetitions in practice by simplifying your game plan. The result is player confidence.
I think the reality is when you look back at your game week, you know, we do a self-scout right away. It's the first thing we do after our games. And, you know, it's funny, you have X amount of plays on your sheet, and then you're only running a quarter of those plays. So it's, you know, how much time did you spend practicing the plays you did not run? And then how much time did you spend practicing the plays you did? Mm-hmm. And what we just, again, going back to kind of that philosophy of we actually do a count of all of our run and play action and drop back plays. And, you know, we're trying to hit like a certain number per week, but, you know, we want to be able to rep out our inside zone, our outside zone, our counter in terms of run game, just for examples. And, you know, some 3 or 4 quick game and 2 or 3 downfield pass plays, and we want to rep the heck out of those things. And every rep that we get within practice is just making us better for game day. And I think when you're doing a lot, those reps minimize, and then the repetition of the quarterback or running back or whoever it is, he may not have been in on the rep that you were doing in team. because he was taking a break. So now he may not even have got the rep that he needs to run a play you just installed. So there's so many things to worry about that when you do less, you have more time to rep it out, more time to talk about it. And again, it's just going back to player confidence. When players are confident between the ears, usually the performance on the field increases.
Coach Mangone shares his approach to adding wrinkles and how to keep it the same for the guys up front. He discusses his rule on when final additions can be made into the game plan so that they can have everything ready for game day.
When we ever think about something that we want to add, because again, there's always wrinkles you want to put in, and depending on how much you want to do is up to the individual program. But our first and foremost thought is, how do we keep this the same for the 5 guys up front? How do we put a wrinkle in that maybe, and again, going back to what you said, looks different in the backfield, but maybe is exactly the same blocking scheme or a play action scheme up front for those 5 guys, because everything we do works off those 5. Exactly. You can't run the ball without good 5 guys in front of you or pass protect, and really some of the wrinkles you want to do, you can't do without 5 good guys in front of you. So we try to, okay, we're going to do this different in the backfield, but these 5 guys up front are doing exactly the same thing. And kind of lastly, going into the simplicity part, is we have a rule for us that nothing can go in the game plan beyond 1 o'clock on a Tuesday. So again, we play Saturday afternoons, or Saturday nights. Thursday, you could be watching film, rehashing what you did in practice, and something pops up going, man, this is going to work. It does not go in our offense. It does not go in for that week. That's a mistake that I made as a younger coach, is I was installing stuff even on Thursdays. And then now how are you going to get that ready for a Saturday game and get your kids comfortable enough to be able to rep that out and feel confident on Saturday? So that's another rule that we follow is once it's done, early in the afternoon on Tuesday, it's done. There's nothing going in. Stuff can come out, of course, but nothing will go in beyond Tuesday afternoon.
As coaches, we always get intrigued by the success of others, and whether we see that in scouting film or in a game that we're watching on a Saturday and Sunday, it's something that constantly comes up, that temptation to add new plays. The reality of putting new plays into an offense and actually getting the play the confidence that you need as the play caller can be 2 things that are at odds. Coach Mangone explains the danger of adding new plays and how it affects practice.
I've done that so many times in my career that you're the first person to ever say that to me. And I'm not sure if it's my pride that I've never said it to anybody else, or if I was ever embarrassed to say something to somebody else, but that is 100% true. There are so many times that you're like, man, this play is phenomenal. That team just ran it 7 times on an average of 12 yards per play. We've got to put it in. And then the reality is I don't feel comfortable, so I don't call it. And then we've wasted time, maybe 6 or 7 reps during the week or whatever, the number worked out to be. And now you look back that next Sunday going, why did I waste my time doing that?
Yeah.
And those are all the mistakes. And again, I wish I could go back to a few teams and a few individual players that when I was younger and go, man, I'm sorry. I thought I was doing what was best for you guys. And, now that I'm 20 years into this thing, I realize that maybe I was doing too much. And, the mistakes I made then are now hopefully benefiting the kids we have here. But, those are mistakes that I made in the past and practice things that I never was confident enough to call, which, again, has helped me today, but maybe not when I was, 26 and 27.
Coach Mangone just discussed the effect of adding new plays, and it does affect the practice plan. Coach Mangone explains a way to add wrinkles into what you already do rather than recreating the wheel.
Ideas are phenomenal, and it's great to brainstorm, but at the end of the day, too, you have to have your convictions. Yeah. You have to have things that you believe in, and there's things that just concrete that are built into our program that we do and that we believe in and that we're going to kind of stay the course. And it is nice to have a wrinkle here and there or something that's different, but at the end of the day, if you're not comfortable calling it, then you're not going to. So what is the sense of actually installing it? And that's, again, it's taken years to actually kind of follow the script of what I've always heard and maybe the mistakes that I've made to now understand that point to a T, but it's so true.
Simplicity allows you to better find the answers and adjustments you need to be able to stay ahead of the defense. Mangone points out that it's the difference of being a guy who calls plays or being a coordinator.
Yeah. And again, that's the difference between a guy that calls plays and a coordinator, right? A guy that anybody can play Madden and pick plays off the Madden sheet and, okay, this one works great, whatever. But at the end of the day, do you know it enough where if the defense stymies this play, what is now your answer? And then also with the understanding of this is what we're going to do and this is what we anticipate them to follow with in order to stop X. Well, then what's our answer to that? It's that chess match that, again, I think fell in love with the passion of the game when I was younger, and when I got into the high school ranks, I fell in love with the X and O aspect of FATS. This was always so much fun to understand kind of where somebody was with what they were doing, what the answer was to stop it, and then what's your now counter move to help improve what's going to happen. And our offense, if you looked at it since 2004, the premise of it when I took over is exactly the same today. It's just a lot of layers have been taken off in terms of, all the things we've done, but the heart and soul of it is exactly the same. So 20 years of coaching and I don't know, whatever, X many years of calling plays, every year that goes by, you kind of feel more and more and more comfortable about what you're going to see to prevent and stop what you're doing.
Thanks to Coach Mangone for sharing his thoughts on why keeping it simple can help your offense have success and for you to be the most effective as an offensive coordinator. Check out our show notes for links to resources that will help you develop as a coach and coordinator at coachandcoordinator.com, and follow me on Twitter at Coach K. Grabowski. Thank you for listening to this Coach and Coordinator Quickcast.